saw in section 7, learning embraces the entire you. It's not only your intellect that is involved when you study, but you as an entire person. That is the reason you should make sure that the entire you is prepared if you want to learn. It entails more than you realize. If you want to study well and effectively, the following are vitally important. Get enough rest. Experiments have shown that healthy patterns of sleep and enough sleep have a positive effect on academic achievements. One experiment, for example, showed that students who slept a mere 45 minutes per night longer than the control group did much better than the control group in tests involving reasoning and logic. Have balanced meals if you want to perform well. Interesting new research shows that certain kinds of food are good for the brain and therefore your cognitive capability. Good examples are fish products, fresh fruit, vegetables, and omega-3 oils. What is of basic importance is to eat regular meals. Don't skip meals and drink enough water. The impulses in the brain move considerably slower if you are dehydrated. There is evidence that by drinking water regularly while you are learning, you make it easier for the brain to function. Therefore, you make it easier for yourself to learn. Exercise and relaxation is absolutely necessary to clear the brain, to improve blood circulation, and in so doing, ensuring better brain function. Exercise is also an excellent stress releaser. Exercise goes with increased intake of oxygen. Scientists have found that increased intake of oxygen makes the pH of the blood more alkaline. This causes more effective movement and flow of messages in the brain. If you sit in a stuffy room and don't get enough oxygen, it increases the acid content of your blood, and that leads to drowsiness and slower brain function. The age-old advice to take a deep breath before an exam or making a speech or facing a challenge is therefore excellent advice, because increased intake of oxygen improves the function of the brain. An important obstacle in the learning process is an excess of stress. As early as 1973, neuroscientists found that the brain downshifts in very stressful situations. That means that the brain downshifts to the primitive parts of the brain that control the fight and flight instinct. This suppresses the higher functions of the brain that you need for learning, and this is when you strike a blank. A question frightens you, and suddenly you can't remember a thing. Your brain downshifts. It is like being chased by a bull. You don't think, don't argue with it, you just run and scale a barbed wire fence, your flight instinct. What should you learn from this? It is important not to be frightened of your lecturers, your studies, and the entire learning scene. You must view and experience it positively. Relax, because then your brain is best prepared for the challenges. Then there is upshifting to a higher gear. The more positive you are about your studies and lecturers, the less stress, tension, and negative thoughts there are, the better your brain functions. As a matter of fact, there is evidence that the brains of people who study in a childlike way, with games, laughter, humor, and joy, function most effectively. Create circumstances where you are relaxed, can breathe deeply, are happy, and where you can learn best. Now, I want to share with you a very important and powerful technique that we call an early pleasant learning experience, EPLE. This technique is designed to put the brain into a higher gear so that you have the advantage of higher brain functions. In other words, you can then utilize whole brain learning. Stand up straight and stretch your arms as high as possible while you breathe in deeply. And then touch your toes while you exhale. Do this a few times calmly and slowly. Up and breathe in deeply. Down and out. Stretch while lifting your arms and inhale deeply. Breathe out everything when you reach for your toes. Then sit straight and comfortably on a chair and close your eyes. Continue breathing calmly and deeply. While you are sitting like that, you will find it easy